I'm Father Michael Orsi. I am your host for Action for Life Television, that good news program which brings you the big G for the gospel of Jesus Christ and the little g, all the good things that people do to put that gospel of life into action. Hey gang, you know, one of the most important things that we've learned is how important it is to communicate to people, to get the message of pro-life out there. Now, let me be quite honest with you. The enemy, the pro-death side is very articulate in putting forth their arguments, which they're flawed. They're flawed arguments. And I think they've learned, their lessons from Joseph Goebbels. You tell one enough of a big lie, then there's more lies to follow. The big one, tell it over and over again, people begin to believe it. And then the little ones creep in, and before you know it, the whole world believes a lie. And that's what we're dealing with here, are a bunch of liars. And they're the agents of the evil one, the father of lies, the prince of darkness. But the father of lies and prince of darkness knows how to use the media. Oh, does he know how to use the media? And we have to be just as cunning, as innocent as doves, and as wise as serpents. Now, I have a guest today. We've met her before, and, she is as innocent as a dove and wise as a serpent. She is a survivor, personally, of abortion, but, as you can see, she's here with us, and so she survived. But she also wanted to make sure that abortion was not going to happen to other people. Now, we know her story, but there's parts of it that I think we don't know, and I want to explore today. She has an organization called Action Life?
Live Action.
Live Action, okay, Live Action. And her job is to communicate to people. She's a commentator, and she commentates for some pretty big organizations like Fox News, right? Fox News, yes. And Christian Television Network, Christian Broadcasting Network. So, she's out there all the time, speaking the truth. And, folks, it ain't easy always to get a venue to speak the truth, but she's good, and therefore she's able to get the word out there. So, Christina, welcome back. And
thank you.
What I want to do is, I want to ask you about your organization. How did this start, that you want to get the word out there and using somebody beautiful and articulate like you to do it?
Well, thank you. So the Live Action organization was started by a woman named Lila Rose. She's the founder and president, and she started it when she was in college. And she had an experience as a young woman, as a teenager, where she encountered a book about abortion, and it really opened up her eyes to the reality of abortion. And so as a young girl, she got involved with raising money for pregnancy centers and helping. And then when she got to college at UCLA, she started doing undercover work, exposing the abortion industry, going in, pretending to be a woman seeking an abortion, to show the things that were happening behind closed doors. And so out of that undercover work, she began the organization called Live Action. And so now Live Action, we have the largest social media presence of any pro-life organization. We have millions of followers through Facebook, through Twitter, through Instagram, through YouTube. And we do lots of investigative work exposing what abortion really is. We have videos and that show the abortion procedures and the fetal development of a baby growing in the womb. We do presentations. We do events. We did an event in California last year where hundreds of people come, and we talked to them about the pro-life message. Thousands of people come, and we share with them the reality of abortion. And so we are an organization that wants to end abortion, and we want to show the beauty of the unborn child and why they must be protected.
So you have correspondents all over the world, or just in the United States, or just some states? How does this work?
Well, our staff is in the United States, and I'm a news correspondent. And so I'm a speaker for the organization. But we do have followers throughout all of the world who interact with us through social media. We also have a news blog called Live Action News. And so if you go to liveaction.org, you can learn more about the organization. But our news blog, for example, we are always giving relevant, up to date, current information about politics, about entertainment. We're telling personal stories of women who've chosen adoption or chosen life. And so people from all over the world, they read our stories and they see our videos and they interact with us. But our staff is in the United States of America.
All right, now you are out there communicating, trying
Yes.
to get the story out there, and then things happen, like an event happens, like just say when the Dodd case was settled, okay, and does somebody contact you or do you contact them? How does this work? Because it's not that easy getting somebody on our side on the media, because the media folks they're kind of left wing. You know what I'm saying? They're not fair and balanced.
Right. So it's both of those things. So for one, we are our own media source. So we are also reporting as a media source on the Dobbs case and all sorts of, the abortion pill and the legislation that is surrounding that and the Supreme Court and all the things that are happening even now. So we report as well. And people will see our information and then they'll invite us to come on to their shows. And then we will also sometimes request, if there's an organization that we would like to be a part of, we can send in a request or let them know. Maybe we would write an article for them or offer an op-ed article for them. And so it kind of goes both ways. Oftentimes people see us on social media and they see Lila especially, and they will invite her to do Fox or to do, CNN or NBC, or she was on Dr.
CNN.
Well, there's all sorts of organizations, both secular and, Christian, that will invite us. NPR is another one. She was on Dr. Phil only a few months ago. She went on Dr. Phil and talked about abortion. We love to talk to anyone that's willing to listen. So all sorts of different news organizations have covered our stories and have talked to us. And that's good because we don't want to be in a bubble where we just talk to pro-lifers. We want to get out there and we want to talk to anybody who's willing to listen, because our goal is to change hearts and minds.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that, CNN and MSLSD and all of these other, left-wing media outlets, give you some airtime. I'm surprised.
Well, we definitely don't get as much airtime as we would from, conservative pro-life organizations. Conservative pro-life organizations are the number one organizations that will want to talk to us. But we do talk to other organizations that are secular or liberal, and they are often wanting to hear our perspective as well. And oftentimes when they're telling a story, they feel as if they need to get a quote from both sides. So even, for example, in Connecticut, where I live, we had the March for Life Connecticut. And so we had numerous news organizations that came, and they want to talk to pro-abortion people in Connecticut and understand how they feel about the fact that there's a march, but they also want to talk to us as well. So thankfully, there are some organizations that are still willing to listen to both sides.
Okay, listen, in recent weeks, last couple of weeks, there was a Supreme Court. It wasn't a case per se, but it was a decision at the moment regarding the abortion pill, mifepristone. How do you say that word?
Mifepristone.
Yeah, that's the one I mean. All right, and two of the justices said it should be taken off the market because there was not enough testing done on the pill. Am I correct?
Yes, and I would agree with them. They're absolutely correct.
Okay, tell us their reasoning, because it was Alito and Justice Thomas. Tell us your thinking. Sure.
So Alito and Thomas believe the same way that I do, and those of us at Live Action, that the pill was fast-tracked by the FDA for political reasons. that they wanted to push the pill, 20 years ago and get it approved by the FDA because of the abortion lobby and the abortion industry that wanted to get the pill, out on the market to make money off of it and to tragically, kill babies, by offering that as an option. They did not want to look at the reality that the pill has side effects, that there are women, over 20 women who in association with the pill have died in association with taking the pill. There are women who've been left infertile. There are women who've had blood clots, hemorrhaging. There are women who've had extreme pain. There's women who've had fetal remains left inside of them, baby parts left inside of them from an incomplete abortion due to the pill. And so the pill is dangerous. It should have never been approved by the FDA. But not only was it approved by the FDA, but then over the last few years, the FDA has continued to loosen the regulations around the pill. So they said that the pill at one time could only be used for women who were 7 weeks pregnant. Then they said, okay, you can use it if you're 10 weeks pregnant. The pill at one point was something that women would have to go to her doctor or an abortion doctor to get. Then during the pandemic, the Biden administration and the FDA said, we'll just send it out through the mail. We can just send out the abortion pill through the mail to people's homes. And so over the last couple of years, not only has the pill been on the market, but they have loosened the regulations and made it even more dangerous. And one of the most recent things is that these pharmacies like Walgreens and CVS have said, oh, we're going to take the pill and we're going to just sell it, in our stores, which would make all of these pharmacies that we go to get, basic prescriptions, places that are doing abortions, turning them into abortion facilities. And so there was a Texas judge who made a ruling on the abortion pill saying that it was not really looked at in the way that it should have been investigated. And then it went all the way up to the Supreme Court. And now I believe it's back at the Fifth Circuit. And so we're not exactly sure how this will all turn out. But I do agree with those two justices. They made the right call. And I pray that the other justices would have as much courage to follow.
What happened to the other justices? I mean, what happened to Kavanaugh? What happened to Barrett? What happened to Gorsuch? I mean, why did they go along with this?
I don't know. I don't know. I really have no idea. They made the right decision when it came to the Dobbs decision and allowing Roe versus Wade to go back to the states. I don't know if they're feeling pressure from the Biden administration, or I don't know if they're feeling pressure from society. I know that they have dealt with a lot of harassment. We know that someone basically tried to kill Kavanaugh outside of his house. So I pray that they're not compromising out of any sort of fear or feeling like they wanted to cave to societal pressure. I really don't know. Perhaps they're wanting more time. Perhaps they're punting it to the Fifth Circuit so that they can have more time to consider it and to research it. All I know is that it's important for us to really pray for them, that they would be bold and that they would stand in their convictions and that they would make the right decision.
All right, now I'm going to ask you something. FDA politicized?
Well, I would definitely say with this situation, yes. Definitely with the abortion pill.
And what about, other governmental agencies, Center for Disease Control? Do you think that they're politicized?
I think that
you could be honest, just
a lot
the two
of
of us.
Organizations like the FDA and the CDC are under the influence of the abortion industry. What
you heard that, folks.
Realize,
you heard that. They're under the influence of the abortion industry.
Right.
You see how evil this is permeating our society. It's in the courts. It's in government agencies. Folks, it's in the White House. And I have been upset about this now for a long time. I'm sorry, Christina. What you're saying, it's just awful. You know what? The other thing, Christina, I'm going to tell you something else. When I read, the decision regarding the abortion pill, a certain newspaper. Well, it's the one that I use when my doggy can't get out of the house. The New York Times, all right? All right?
Okay.
They have a big article about how religion is affecting science, how religion is affecting the courts, how religion is affecting our laws. As far as I'm concerned, this was not based on religion, this decision.
No, it wasn't. And when we talk about the abortion pill being dangerous, we're not talking about religion. We're talking about women who take the pill and who are left infertile, or who are left with botched abortions, or who are left with psychological, emotional health consequences because of it. So we're not talking about religion. We're talking about science, biology, healthcare, and how this pill hurts women.
As you can imagine, producing this wonderful program, Action for Life, it costs a great deal of money. We're going to need your help. So if you would like to donate to keep this good news program on the air, please go to your computer, your cell phone, actionforlife.net. Thought for the day. A lot of people think that the religion is only for the next world. Well, it's very much for this world too. It has an impact on our daily lives. Make sure that you take time to know the candidates who are running for office and then to vote for those candidates who are pro-life. Hey gang, I know a lot of you sometimes can't watch all of our episodes of Action for Life. However, we have a solution for that. All you have to do is go to YouTube and search for Action for Life Florida. And you can catch up on all the shows, and guess what? Extra added bonus, you get to hear my weekly homily. So YouTube and you make a fine couple. You know, what amazes me, Christina, what really amazes me is, basically, this pill kind of lets a woman hemorrhage, right? What happens? Tell us what it does.
So there's two pills, mifepristone and mifepristol. And the first pill actually starves the growing baby. The first pill would remove the progesterone from the uterus so that the child cannot grow without the progesterone. It basically starves the child of nutrients. And then the second pill, mifepristol, ejects the child from the womb like a forced miscarriage. So it is a combination of starving the child of these nutrients and then causing the child to be ejected. Now, there is something called abortion pill reversal. And basically what that is if a woman has taken the first abortion pill, mifepristone, before she takes the second one, there's a window of time where if she goes to a pro-life doctor or pro-life OBGYN, she can inject her with progesterone. And there's a possibility that the replacement of the progesterone could lead to that baby's life being saved. So there are women who've taken the first abortion pill and then regretted it and called the abortion pill hotline. And they've gotten the progesterone, and that's caused them to have a saved baby. So it is possible, not in every situation, but it is something that your viewers and listeners should know about. But again, the second pill, mifepristol, that forces the child out in what looks like a miscarriage, but it's not, because it's forced. And many times women will see their child in the toilet or right before them in their bed. It's
Oh,
very gruesome and it's
it is good.
very
Folks, do you see how gruesome this is gruesome? This is what evil is. Evil is ugly. Evil is ugly, and you know how evil works its way into people's lives. It's the devil, folks. It is the devil. You know, there's a movie out now. I didn't get a chance to see it called Nefarious. And it talks about how evil works in people, how evil works in the world. It's got some really, really good recommendations. And you know, I encourage you go see the movie. I mean, the last movie I saw was Les Mis, and that was about 20 years ago. My sister insisted that I go. But anyway, have you seen the movie, Christina?
No, I haven't. The last one I saw was Jesus Revolution in the theaters. I saw that with the man from the Chosen series.
Oh yeah, that's very good.
Like that. Yeah, Jonathan Rumi. He spoke at the March for Life. So that's the last one I saw in theaters, but I'll have to check that one out. I haven't seen it.
You see, I like movies where I feel better, you know, uplifted, happy.
Me too.
You know, like I like to see Sound of Music over and over and over
I love
again.
Sound of Music.
Yeah, everything beautiful in that movie. I mean, I don't want to leave the theater and get all upset. But anyway, I hear it's a good movie, folks. Shows you just how the devil works. He's the enemy of humanity, and he just loves abortion. You know why? Because we're made in God's image and likeness. You abort a baby, you abort the face of God. That's what it is. That's what it is, folks. All right, now I got to ask you a question, another question.
Yeah.
All right. This is the post-Roe v. Wade era. Post-Roe v. Wade. What do you see as our challenge now? Okay, certainly, you know, we have to continue the fight to end abortion. It's in the states. What do we do?
Right.
You know, an election is coming up, and you know, of course, the pundits are saying, "Well, you can't really make abortion an issue." What do you say to that?
I say abortion is an issue. It's the number one issue.
Go ahead.
And I think that the things that we have to be concerned about are Republicans backing down because they think, okay, well, the Dobbs decision has happened and I'm just going to back away from this issue now. No, we can't back away from this issue because the abortion industry is not backing away from this. They are trying to reclaim their rights. They are pushing the abortion pill, trying to get pharmacies to sell it, trying to get it on college campuses. In every state, they're fighting. Even in my state of Connecticut, they're trying to pay for other people to come here and have abortions. Our governor has said he wants to give $2 million so out-of-state women could come here and we could pay for out-of-state women's abortions, as well as, you know, paying for abortions to be on college campuses and things like that, you know, through machines, then, you know, abortion pill. So there's so many things happening on the state level. And it's important for Republicans, conservatives, pro-lifers to not back down and think the fight's over. The fight has just begun.
Okay, so suppose, you know, when I announce that I'm running for president in 2024, you heard it first here, folks. I'm going to announce someday. And you think that I should just come right out and say, look, I am 100% against abortion, and in my administration, I'm going to do everything I can to end abortion from conception until natural death. I'm going to protect life. Should I do that, or should I say, well, what about you know, six-week law, heartbeat law, 15-week law? You know, what would you do? What would you tell me to do?
I would do the first choice. I think you got to come out strong. And you got to tell people what you really believe, because this is the thing. There are people like myself who will not vote for a pro-choice candidate. There are young people, older people all across the country that vote pro-life, and they primarily vote pro-life. And we don't want compromise. We don't want someone who's afraid. You know, one of the reasons that I did vote for President Trump both times was because he was vocal about the fact that he was pro-life. There were a number of things I disagreed with him about. And I still was willing to vote for him because he publicly said that he's pro-life. And unfortunately, in recent days, you know, he's made some comments that I disagree with in regarding this issue, perhaps maybe trying to back away from it. I thank God that he appointed the justices, but even those justices need to also stay strong.
Okay,
And
but I
not
want to ask you this. A lot of the, pundits once again said, well, the reason why the Republicans lost the last election was because of their stance on pro-life, and they didn't make any exceptions, and that caused them to lose the votes in the blue states. What do you say?
It's more complicated than that. People don't vote Republican for a number of reasons. When you look at the Black community, when they're not voting Republican, honestly, abortion is not the number one issue that they don't vote Republican for. It usually has to do with social services. If I'm talking about the Black community, when the Black community says, I'm not going to vote Republican, and you talk to them about it, it's usually because they say, well, they're against social services, they're against helping the poor, which is not true. It may be true in some ways, it's not completely true, but there are plenty of Democrats that are pro-life. I have never talked to a Black person who's a Democrat who told me, I would never vote Republican because they're pro-life. Because a lot of the Black community, many of them go to church, many of them have some sort of a religious belief system where they still may be pro-choice, but they're not aggressively pro-abortion.
Okay, folks, we're running out of time. You heard what Christina said. It's so true what she said, because you gotta stick with the truth, because once you divert from the truth, you are going to lose everything, because then you become a fake, phony fraud. And look, Christina's for action, I'm for action, and I know you are too. We would like to thank our generous sponsors for their wonderful support. Thanks for watching. Please join us next time for Action for Life. I'm for action, and I hope you are too. I'm Father Michael Orsi. I am your host for Action for Life Television, that good news program which talks about the gospel of Jesus Christ, the big G, and the little g, all the good things that people are doing to put the gospel of life into action. So please join us for the next episode of Action for Life.